Hey YouTube, Shuki here with a review of the Power Rangers Samurai OctoZord. So this is Antonio's first Zord, the one that he arrived with. Jayden gave it to him as a child. And he's pretty cool, actually. Obviously, I mean, right off the bat, he is pretty tiny. But all of these Zord vehicle auxiliaries are. His main feature is spinning. However, he doesn't do it that well. His legs don't offer too much in the way of clearance. So you might want to lift them upwards, and then he can kind of spin decently. Sort of. But that is his main gimmick. He doesn't really do anything else besides spin. His little trunk can move, and this can move. And this is a purple. It's showing up on my camera screen as blue, but this is purple. I'll try to color correct it once I upload it. And that's all. There's a wheel on here, so you can fold this up. Fold this all up like this. And plop him down. You can take the little Mega Mode Gold figure that comes with him, which is actually pretty cool. I really like Gold's Mega Mode. I think it's probably the coolest one. You can plop him on there, and then he can go... And then his butt spins. Fun times, right? Yeah. So, there's that. Anyone can fit on here. The 4 inches can fit on there as well. So, unplug that. Or not, unfold rather. He spins a lot better when he's actually off the ground. But that's all he does. The Japanese version had a couple more features. I mean, as you can see, looks... Get your trunk down. Looks department-wise, he changed pretty much nothing. He is more of a whiter, while this is a more of an off-white... almost gray, but not really kind of color, while he is like a pure white. But that, I mean, that's really the only difference. All the details are there. All of the red jewels are painted. His eyes are painted. The logo's right there. Both of them spin. I mean, the Japanese version does a better job of spinning, obviously. But in terms of overall everything's there, and nothing has really changed. The only thing that this one has, or it doesn't have, is the same thing that we've had with all of them, really. The disc doesn't come off. So you don't get the Ika Origami disc. So that means that all of the modes in which his disc is flared out, you can't do on the American toy. But that's really the only major difference, and I really, really like the OctoZord. He's a nice small alternative. And if you can't seem to get the big guy, or you're just collecting the American line, I think they did a really good job at adapting this guy, and nothing besides the disc is really left out. They did a pretty good job. This used to be a button that goes and it extends his head, but that isn't here, so you just have to manually do that. So, but yeah, that's really the only major difference. I really like him. He's cool. So, he has compatibility with both the Samurai Megazord and the Samurai ClawZord. The Samurai ClawZord compatibility will be in the ClawZord review, so look for that tomorrow. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at the combination with the Samurai Megazord. So, we'll go ahead and bring that up, since all the action happens up here. First and foremost, don't pop the head off. The helmet actually stays on for once. But you do have to flip this out and then basically dismantle him just like that. So this is going to fold upwards like that and create a little backpack, and then it will peg in... I always get this mixed up. There we go. Peg in right there, just like that. So it kind of looks like little wings of some sort. This is going to act as a shield. However, unlike the Japanese release, which I'll point out in a minute, it holds it like that. so you're forced into this downward shield position, which doesn't look that bad because most of the time you don't hold a shield up near your face all of the time. And, well, I'll get to that when I'm done with the formation. And then this, basically, just spin him around and he'll peg right there. And extend that. And there you have the Octo Spear Megazord. So he's got this, basically like a Qatar kind of spear arm. A little shield. And these little wing dinghies on his back. The Japanese release, as always, comes off a little bit more hulkier. The OctoZord is absolutely huge on this guy. So I don't know, the arm thing looks a little bit more unnatural to me. But it's, I don't know. This doesn't extend out all too far, and this just looks so massive. And like I said about the shield, in order to get the shield to look right, you have to hold them all the way up like that. And that's not going to protect your body at all, especially if you topple over on me. Origami decided to open up. Come on, hold together. We'll bring that down so it doesn't fall over anymore. But yeah, that's... I honestly... I like the American one more, to be honest. I think it's just because it's smaller. It looks a little bit more streamlined, less bulky. This looks more like an actual weapon attachment as opposed to a giant squid attached to your arm. Maybe I'm just weird, but I like this one overall more. And I actually do like the fact that the shield can be held in a way that actually protects, at least for the most part, tries to protect its body. So, yeah, not much has changed. It just looks a lot smaller and a little bit more streamlined. So, of course, this thing can combine with the other three, the Battlewing, to form the Battle Cannon, maybe? They haven't done it in the show, so it doesn't have a name yet. But we'll just go with the Samurai Battle Cannon for now. So to do that, basically just take this off right here. Fold that in. This is going to act as the base. Pop off that. And then take this piece off and set the Samurai Megazord aside because you don't need him anymore. This will fold downward like that and then spread these up. So then, come down here. These will sit just like that. This will fold downward. Take the entire Battlewing, fold these around. Again, it doesn't really matter what drills you put where, just as long as they're facing forward. These ones can just rotate around. Okay, take this off, this piece off, pop off that and put it back on top of the beetle. Just like so. And then take the tail here, and you can reattach it to these swordfish. Just like so. So now you have a really stripped down beetle, or Battlewing, not Beetlezord. And then this will just sort of peg in down here, except it isn't working. There we go. This will peg in right here. If I can get the other side pegged in, maybe it pegged in already. There we go. Yeah, it did. No, it didn't. I don't know. So anyway, now you have this going on that you can't see. So I got this going on. So take the tiger and plug it right in there. And it'll just kind of sit down there and then plug in the head crest. It will act as some sort of kick pedal or something. And so the last thing to do is to take the OctoZord's head. And it will plug right in that hole there with that peg right there. And that is all. It doesn't actually connect into anything else on this thing, which is a really disappointing factor to me. It really ruins the stability of it. It tends to wiggle around now when you poke it. That sounded weird. But anyway, this is the Samurai Battle Cannon, as I will call it for now. So it looks pretty neat. I do like the swordfish's tail. I don't know why. But it looks quite a bit like the Japanese counterpart. And just real quick, bringing this in, you can already see the immense size difference. Here's the Ika Tenku Buster, which is the same thing. It's a little lopsided, something's not in right. But there we go. As you can tell, it is pretty close to the same thing, albeit much bigger. So once again, they did a pretty decent job at adapting this thing. Nothing looks horribly different. Outside of a few paint apps and obviously the few stylized design choices, particularly with the swordfish, everything is intact and done really well. Granted, you don't have any of the cool features, like you don't have any of the drill features going on. When you spin the top of the Toro Origami, everything on that thing moves, as opposed to this release where nothing moves when you spin this because of the way I have the drills positioned, and just nothing works. But overall, it does look pretty nice. However, the only problem I have with it is that it was mostly used with the combination between the ClawZord and the Samurai Megazord, which is bigger than this, and it's really only decent in size comparison with the Samurai Megazord. Otherwise, it's just in a very inappropriate place, and it's just not really proportionate because of the way that these were downsized. But that's really the only real complaint that I have. The OctoZord as a whole. Let me go ahead and just kind of start forming him while I'm rambling. The OctoZord as a whole is pretty nice. I think it's probably one of the better of the 4 Zord vehicles that were released. I don't know why. It's probably just the fact that I like it the most. But it seems to retain the most of its Japanese counterpart, and it just all around looks cool. I just like the originality of having an octopus Zord, even though he's a squid, but that's a story for a different day. I really dig this guy. I think they did a really good job, and he's definitely worth taking a look at. $16.99 at Toys R Us, probably not worth it. $12.99 at K-Mart, I would say he's probably worth the $12.99. Particularly if you have the other ones, then you can make the Buster, and then it's compatible with both of the other deluxe Zords. So really, you can't really lose too much on this guy because he is compatible with everything. So really like the Octo. He's all sorts of awesome. So you can check out our review at ridersrumbles.com, bringing the latest token news in the craziest way possible. And of course, you can discuss Power Rangers Samurai, the toy line, and everything else at the RAM boards at ridersrumbles.com/forum. So take care, have a great one. Bye.